So welcome everybody. Bill, this is a great guest today. We've already done a couple episodes with Barbara. Wonderful. But I'm really happy that AnnaClare Sung is joining us today because AnnaClare, as you know, edited my book, Spilling the Career Tea.
That's the name of the book?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
And for the first time in 2026, you're not seeing an actual copy of the book with us. But that's okay because AnnaClare has memorized it.
Exactly.
AnnaClare, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. However, I will say that AnnaClare came to my attention because she attended a publishing course at Columbia University. As you know, we're in New York, so we were introduced through that. And then in speaking with her, we decided she could help edit my book. And AnnaClare is a graduate of McGill University, still living in Montreal, I believe.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you take it from here, but she's a great guest.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you. So I guess I'll start with I went to McGill, and when I was there, I was sort of wondering what I was going to study my first year. I had come from a really rigorous high school where I was going to class 6 days a week and then also dancing 6 days a week.
In Boston, or where are you from?
I'm from just outside of Boston,
Got
but my high school is in Concord, New Hampshire.
Got it.
So I was boarding there, and upon going to McGill, I was kind of wrestling with what am I going to do after this whole period where ballet kind of defined my life, I guess. And I was dancing 1 day a week, 2 days a week, but I had all of this free time, and so I guess I got really into like film and TV. Decided that I wanted to study cultural studies for my major, which is sort of a combination of literature, film, and then critical theory studies. And so that was my 4 years at McGill studying that. And through that time, I was really fortunate when it came to finding internships. My first internship was at a news station just outside of Boston, like the ABC affiliate for Boston, and I got that through a connection. I obviously applied, but I worked in the public relations and programming department there, and that was like the only internship I applied for. That was the summer going into my junior year, I want to say, yeah. And then the following summer, I also only applied for one internship, which was a communications and media relations position at a film festival in Montreal, and I got that through the career services department at McGill, and they have like an internship program, I guess, where they match McGill students with Montreal organizations. So that was also pretty succinct, like a pretty succinct process. And then, so once I graduated from McGill, I guess I'll say also that I didn't exactly feel like compelled by, or I wouldn't say compelled, but connected to the roles that I was doing in those internships. I really liked the places that I was interning and their missions and kind of the work that they were producing, but the communications, public relations side of it, I wasn't super drawn to. So then when I left McGill, or just before
when was
I did.
This? You graduated when?
Oh yeah, I graduated in June of 2025.
Okay, so almost a year ago.
Yeah.
So very recent.
Yeah. So when I was, I guess, in my last semester there, I was thinking about what I was going to do afterwards, and was feeling a bit lost, knew that I had this draw to kind of the entertainment industry, but also I had a pretty extensive background doing writing stuff just like in clubs at school. So I went to the Columbia Publishing course and kind of just trying to discover what else there was out there, I guess. And yeah, it was there that I kind of learned about literary agencies. I learned how the whole publishing industry sort of operated, but it was kind of the agency environment that I was really drawn to. That they're wearing all different kinds of hats, really multitasking. It's super fast-paced, which I tend to work like well in high pressure, like fast-paced environments. Like I like to be busy, but I wasn't completely set on like publishing as the industry, even though I love to write and edit, as you know.
Right.
But yeah, and so then after that, I went and was again very fortunate to get an interview for a literary agency that was based in Toronto, and I got that. And
As an internship?
yes, it was an internship. It was a 3-month internship, so I was doing it remotely just with, I had 2 supervisors, and basically my job was, I was doing some administrative stuff for them, but the main thing was writing and proofreading a pitch catalog for International Book Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, after that, I was again kind of in this position where, what am I going to do after? How am I going to kind of make this pivot towards film and entertainment? Because at that point, I had kind of accepted that that was really where I wanted to be.
And was that prior to your graduation?
This was after. This was
Okay.
the literary agency when I interned. That was end of August to October.
So recently?
Recently.
After graduation?
Yes.
And since then, you've been looking for a role,
Mm-hmm.
full-time role.
Yes.
You live in Canada. You live in Montreal.
Yeah.
You're from Boston.
Yeah.
Boston area. So you're applying to roles. Where are you finding the roles you're applying to?
Everywhere. Like LinkedIn sometimes, but I've found a lot of jobs just, I have a list of companies and their links to their like job sites, and I just every day I click and I see if they've updated. So that's been like where I think I found the most success, because I've learned that if I'm not like applying sort of right away once the job is posted, that there's not really much of a chance for me to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have some other job sites, like specific entertainment industry sites that I reference, and then LinkedIn is a big one.
Okay, so how many jobs do you think you've applied to since, let's say, January of 2026?
Since January, maybe like 80 or 90.
Wow.
Okay. Any interviews?
3.
3 interviews?
Yeah.
And what happened in those interviews?
Well, the first interview that I got was with an agency in New York, and they were hiring for an assistant for their like emerging talent department. And I think I'm a pretty good interviewer. I tend to over-prepare so that I know exactly what to say when they ask me something. But when I was interviewing for that, they did say, like, we think you're a good candidate, but we're not sure if this is the right department for you, and suggested that maybe the literary department in the agency would be a better fit, which is like the film and TV literary department. So it deals mostly with screenwriters and directors and producers. But so that was kind of like something that I had potentially expected them to say, because I know that my resume leans like more writing heavy, but they kept my resume on, and yeah, that's how that one went.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So what was the next one?
The next one, what was that? That was a bit of a different role. It was, again, it was a nonprofit in New York, and they kind of put on events, like cultural events, discussion based. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but yeah, it was they put on events, invited people from different cultural fields, film, politics, etc., and held these sort of discussions and discourses. And so the position was a production assistant, basically helping produce like the live events, which I thought sounded like something that I might be interested in, and I had the experience of helping with the film festival, so I saw sort of a through line there.
Right.
But
what happened with that one?
I don't know.
Did you get ghosted?
No,
we
I
were
didn't.
talking about that.
I know. I was the first person to interview, and so I had a good conversation, and I thought she seemed to like what I had to say, and then she said she would let me know in like a week or 2 weeks, and I followed up after the 2 weeks once I hadn't heard from her, and then again the week after, I think, because I still hadn't heard back, and ultimately she said that they went elsewhere. But
at least she got back to you.
Yeah.
This was the hiring manager or the recruiter?
This was the, I've only interviewed actually with the people who would be directly
Okay,
supervising
the hiring
me.
manager. Yeah.
Hiring manager.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What about the third?
That was this morning.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get that job just because you're on our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take full credit for it.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, which is very common, and Barbara, you can comment on this as well, is you're in a space that is moving a little bit, writing, media. McGill, I don't know a lot about, but they're known, right, for communications and journalism and media and other aspects. Is that
I
right?
mean, I think McGill's a very large
It's a
institution.
big school, yeah.
So their research-based institution, not like, they don't have a huge liberal arts, I guess, program, yeah.
Mhm.
And they're really known for their business school and medical school, which is not really related. But yeah, I mean, they're known internationally, but not necessarily for, I guess, the arts as well as they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big school. Do you
Yeah.
about how many students go there?
30,
Oh, that's big.
40,000.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe just to take a half a step back, why did you end up there?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of ended up there by chance, but I'll say that during my college search, I really was thinking about maybe 2 or 3 things, which was location. I knew I wanted to go to school either somewhere like in a big city on the East Coast or potentially on the West Coast. And I knew that the city I was in, I wanted it to have a dance studio where I could keep doing ballet.
That was your dance, ballet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then obviously programs are important to me, but at that point I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to go into, so not like top of mind. But yeah, so I applied to a bunch of schools, East and West Coast, and I was also toying with the idea of going out of the States. So I applied to some schools in, I think, like the UK, and then obviously McGill in Canada. But I didn't get into any of the schools that I like felt super connected to in the States. And I guess I have always been the type of person where when I'm making a change, it's gonna be like a bigger one. Going from elementary school or middle school to high school, I wanted to go to a school where I didn't know anyone, and kind of like, I don't know, make that pivot. And then my high school was really very small, and so I figured that I might be able to do a lot of growing in a larger school, and that's kind of how McGill ended up on my list, I guess. Not just because of that, but definitely a factor.
Right.
And so, yeah, that
So let's get to your experience at McGill.
Okay.
So do you feel like they prepared you to enter the workforce?
Yes and no. Like, I think my time doing my internship that happened through career services was really helpful. Part of that was meeting with like a career advisor and them going through my resume and my cover letters and kind of helping me refine them. But in terms of coming out of McGill, there's not much guidance, and I honestly think that could be said for a lot of my peers, even not at the same school as me. Just that like transition period is one that lacks a certain type of guidance.
Career readiness, right, at
Sure.
schools, in academia. We've talked a fair amount, right, about there's only a few schools that really do it at a higher level, best we know, right? And we're trying to get schools to think more
Schools
directly
are
about
making a
that.
shift, certainly.
Yeah, it's 100K US, right? And whatever. Barbara, I'm going to throw it to you for a minute. What I'm hearing here, I don't think is very unusual. There are some core themes of interest, but not a clear cut, which is not a negative. I want to explore, but they're within spaces and maybe permutations or iterations of a space, right? But it's not clear. I mean, do you find that unusual in any way?
No, because I think, you want to, look, searches need to be broad and focused, and it's hard, right? I think, I always use the hourglass example. When you're at the early part of your search, you're at the top, right? And I think before you jump into interviews, if you have the time, you just want to be gathering information, talking to people, understanding what their work is, understanding what they like about what they do, what they don't like about what they do. And then even your experiences, AnnaClare, what you did or didn't like about something, keep that in your mind or journal it, just because no job's perfect and you're always going to have some things in jobs that you don't like, but you're kind of looking for the thing that's going to really make you feel very engaged, but also play to your skills. The one thing I will just say, not that this is your question, Bill, when I think about when you describe sort of the different environments that you pushed yourself into, I mean, you're clearly very adaptable. And that's a huge selling point.
Yeah.
You've been able to sort of move from a small environment to a large environment. You've figured out how to be successful there. It was something that you were very aware of, and, you really drove that next move. I mean, that's impressive, and to me, that's a skill.
And that's about AnnaClare, not about
That's right.
the university.
That's right.
So let me be so bold as to tell you what I've noticed after working with you and speaking with you, and we've even had the pleasure of reviewing your resume.
Lovely.
Right? So McGill gave you some experience, right? And your internships. That's really super important. So when I look at your resume, and Bill, you've looked at it, Barbara, you may have looked at it.
Yeah, I did,
McGill didn't fail in giving you opportunities and coaching you into an experience.
Yeah.
Where you may need some help is positioning,
Yeah.
specialties, and differentiations, right? Because that's what employers are really going to look for. So you have a really strong resume when you look at experience, right? But how are you positioning that? What are you telling employers that you bring to the table?
Yeah, that's honestly a good question, and one that I've been trying to figure out, I guess, as I've been going through this process. I try to, I'm not sure if this is totally answering your question, but I try to tailor the resume to the job and display what I think, like the skills and the personality that I think they're looking for, but I think it's hard to say exactly how I'm positioning myself because I'm changing it up for each job, if that makes any sense.
So let's talk about what your professional narrative would be. Okay? So imagine you have a LinkedIn profile. What would your headline be? What should your headline be?
I don't know. Like in
I have an idea.
Okay, tell me.
How about entry level publishing professional, because you're not in school, with editorial and literary agency experience?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I think so. I'm wondering like if the publishing professional part would deter like people from other industries from
Like what industry?
Entertainment. I'm hearing.
Entertainment.
See, I hear
Yeah.
you're maybe pivoting to
Yeah.
a real interest, perhaps,
Yeah.
in what I'm hearing you say, in the entertainment industry
Yeah.
and the talent agency aspects of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that? But that's relatively recent.
Yeah, I would say it's an interest that I've had for a long time, but one that I wasn't. I mean, even 6 months ago, I wasn't really sure exactly how to get into the industry, and so I was maybe like holding myself back from like looking into it more because it was so foreign to me, and the way that I guess I partially was thinking about publishing was in the back of my mind a way to get into the industry just through like
Well, that's exactly what your resume tells us. It's in the back of your mind, but it's
Yeah.
not on the resume.
okay.
Right? So
Yes.
if you applied for a role in entertainment, I don't know that anyone would ever call you in for an interview. And correct me if I'm wrong, nobody has.
I mean, the talent agencies have been in that.
But they
realm,
told you
but-
you're probably not the right
Exactly.
person.
Yeah.
So you could refine your resume to discuss why you are. What
Okay.
skills do you have
Yeah.
that are transferable?
Yes.
Right? And this is not a criticism of
No,
your
no,
resume.
no,
It's back to
This is-
skill base, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And putting those at the top of your resume, right?
Right.
Because if they're too embedded in the descriptions, they get lost.
Mhm.
Right, because
Yeah.
you do have a lot of experience
Yeah.
in entertainment. You're
Yes.
a ballet dancer. That's entertainment,
Right.
right? But it doesn't really tell me that.
Right. Yeah.
So
I
it's not telling a potential employer that either.
Yeah.
Can she do that also utilizing the obligatory cover letter to come alive on that?
Absolutely. That's
do
where
you-
you come alive because
Personal,
who else
yeah.
is going to have that
Yeah.
firsthand experience?
Right. See, to Jerry's point, I think you said you use cover letters, right? Have you used cover letters to come alive to your, very recent interest in who you are? Like if I look at your resume, I don't recall for sure. I'm not even sure I see ballet on there.
Yeah, it's not on there.
It's not on there.
You
But
should.
has it been a fundamentally important part of your life to date?
Yeah. I
How
would
many
say,
years have you done ballet?
Since I was 2, so.
And you still do it?
Yeah.
So you should put that on your
No.
resume.
Does it come out in a cover letter?
Occasionally.
All right.
But guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Employers love athletes, dancers,
course.
people with
The arts, yeah.
right People with
Discipline,
discipline,
competitive
Discipline.
experience, right?
and
Yeah.
we're missing that boat.
Well,
Okay.
and you've said you like working in fast-paced environments. Ones that require high, intense, disciplined. I mean, those are all really important competencies for organizations, regardless of sector.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think you're deferring, perhaps, and you even said it, to your writing experience. Is
Yes.
that what are you really good at?
And what do you enjoy doing too?
Yeah.
I'm
Better.
I'm good at writing,
Yeah.
but I think I'm pretty good at like communicating with people and organizing thoughts and materials and projects, etc. And I think I'm a pretty natural leader too. Something I didn't talk about, but I was like an editor-in-chief of a journal at McGill, and so
Okay.
in that role I was kind of managing a group of people.
It's one of your leadership experiential roles.
So
yes.
you're a communicator and a leader. So who would be better to communicate with athletes, dancers, entertainers than somebody who's done it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Bill, but that's it.
Yeah.
And do you have that experience on your resume?
I do.
You do in the
Yes.
back, in the early part of it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's important.
But I definitely have been struggling with, I guess, leveraging the skills that I do have and for the roles that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Right. So that ends today. Okay, we'll talk more about this offline. But here's another thing I'd like to ask you about.
Mhm.
Your resume, again, very strong, has a lot of bullets that talk about your tasks, what you have done.
Mhm.
How can you turn those tasks into descriptions of impact that you've had?
Accomplishments. Yeah.
Achievements,
Right.
yeah.
High impact achievements.
Okay.
How can we do that? I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Your first bullet is that you were an editor of a book,
Mhm.
right? You may have heard about this book.
Spilling the career tea.
But what it doesn't tell us is that you were the editor. You also edited the #1 career development book on Amazon, right?
Yes.
It doesn't talk about the impact that your editing had. It just talks about how you did it.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point. You know, one of the things to ask yourself after each task, I often find that does get to what Jerry's talking about is, so what?
Mhm.
Like, so what? What was the impact? And wherever you can quantify things,
Yeah.
even better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me that. It tells me that you evaluated manuscripts, but it doesn't tell me that you evaluated manuscripts and made decisions on submissions.
Mhm.
Which resulted in,
Right.
Okay.
that's how, yeah. You want to be able to say, like, I did this, and this was the impact.
So how does that? I see the trail that the direction you're on here in guidance, but if AnnaClare wants to pivot into the quote entertainment or talent agency work around that, Mr. Jerry, how does she make that connection?
Well, the skills are transferable.
Yes.
So we already talked about the communication with dancers, with athletes, with entertainers, right? We talked about the impact she can have.
Right.
How can we take the impact from publishing and literary and apply that to what she may be able to do as far as working with an athlete? Where could that impact be duplicated? It's similar, right? But it's another area.
Yeah.
And if you look at it closely, you might be able to talk about, well, I can take the impact I've had in publishing, and that's transferable to name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.